Let's talk about Drake Maye and the New England Patriots. As I record this video, the Patriots are 2-2 to kick off the 2025 season through 4 weeks of football. Just in this 4-game sample size, they made major improvements compared to last season. And it's not because they went out there and they blew out the Carolina Panthers, even though that's an amazing win to have at home. I'm saying this because they have been competitive in every single game so far this season. Even the miscues they've had on the offensive end and the same on the defensive end. And we'll get into all that in a couple minutes here. But when you go back to last season, Drake Maye's rookie year, that kid was in a terrible situation. You had a head coach that was in over his head and Coach Maye. He should have never been the head coach. Alex Van Pelt was the offensive coordinator. Your offense had no structure. And the offensive talent was not the best around Drake Maye. You had one of the worst offensive rosters in the NFL last year. You had little to no juice at the wide receiving position. Vidarian Lowe is a late round pick for a reason. As a backup lineman, he can be solid. He was a starting lineman last year for the Patriots. And Robert Kraft realized early on, we have to move on here from Coach Maye. We have to move on from this coaching staff. Because even when you had big moments last year, because last season wasn't just all 100% terrible, you had some splash plays on the defensive end, even though you were dealing with injuries, and the same with Drake Maye at the quarterback position. But the reason why you had those big moments was because of players. It wasn't because of the coaching. Coach Maye could not manage a game. He misused timeouts a lot. The key situations he wasn't good at. So you move on from him. You bring in Mike Vrabel, who was a very successful head coach with the Tennessee Titans. The man won Coach of the Year with the Titans for a reason. He got the Tennessee Titans to the AFC Championship game with Ryan Tannehill being his starting quarterback. He's an established head coach. He's a veteran. And he has ties with the New England Patriots. It's a perfect fit here. But the biggest signing all offseason long was just going out there and bringing in Mike Vrabel, in my opinion, and going out there and getting free agents like Stephon Diggs and bringing in someone like Milton Williams, even though those are amazing signings to have right now. Going back and getting Josh McDaniels can have a huge impact on Drake Maye in his career. And we're seeing it right now. This is the same man that helped Tom Brady get to that level. And Tom Brady, in my opinion, the best quarterback of all time. The talent is there. Just phenomenal player. But Josh McDaniels was calling the plays to scheme open players like Danny Amendola, Julian Edelman, Rob Gronkowski to that next level. He did a great job alongside Bill Belichick. Josh McDaniels, the head coach outside New England, hasn't been successful. And even without Tom Brady, look at the year that he had with Mac Jones. Mac Jones' rookie season is still the best year of his career. You could say that most teams did not have that much film on him. Fine. They still went to the NFL playoffs. And Mac Jones looked like a very good quarterback at that point in time. As soon as Josh McDaniels leaves, he's not the same quarterback. Now, granted, Bill Belichick had Matt Patricia, a former defensive coordinator, calling offensive plays. We hit a wall there with Bill Belichick the last few years. But Josh McDaniels, he can coach in this league on the offensive end. And it is more structure with this team. The biggest thing here with Drake Maye are the turnovers. And so far through 4 games, 9 total touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He did have some fumbles against the Steelers, but you were still in that matchup. Drake Maye is able to go out there and go through his progressions now. If you go back and you look at last year, he was just reading 1 and 2. He'll just take off and run. That's not the case anymore. Now, part of that is because you went out there and you bring in someone like Morgan Moses at the right tackle position, a veteran who is established in this league. He's not a top 5 tackle, but he's better than what you had last year. And you draft Will Campbell, who has been a stud so far out of LSU. This man came out on draft night. As soon as he got drafted, he's in tears. He said that he's willing to go out there and he's willing to risk it all on the line every single week for Drake Maye in this organization. Week 1 was phenomenal. Week 2, another great game. Week 3, he had some bad moments against the Steelers. But that's against one of the best front sevens in football. He's still a rookie. Give him some time. And he also had a very good game against the Carolina Panthers. He's going to be a franchise tackle in this league. But by having those tackles on the outside, you're giving Drake Maye more time. So now he's reading through his progressions fully. He's going to 3. He's going to 4. He's reading off Stephon Diggs. The same with Kayshawn. Those guys aren't open. Here comes Hunter Henry. Underneath, here comes Hunter Henry across the middle. And Hunter Henry has been a very good tight end this year. And the same with Austin Hooper. These have been safety blankets for Drake Maye in crucial situations in the red zone when it is 3rd down if it's 3rd and 3 and they can't run the football with Ramondre Stevenson or Travion Henderson. And even giving Travion Henderson the football at the backfield as a mini wide receiver, because this is the one thing that we know with Josh McDaniels, and it's not just this year. It's over that entire stretch with Tom Brady. He will use running backs out of the backfield as a wide receiver. He creates mismatches all the time. And this is what he did against the Steelers. This is what he did against the Carolina Panthers, and the same in week 1 against the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, against the Raiders, you lost that matchup 20-13. Drake Maye was 30 of 46, 287 passing yards, 1 passing touchdown, 1 interception. He did get sacked 4 times, but not every sack is created equal. It was the first game in this system. He didn't look comfortable, but you were still in this matchup. Your defense held on. They were not fully healthy. No Christian Gonzalez on the back end of this defense. He missed the first 3 games. In my opinion, in man-to-man situations, he's the best cornerback in football. He's a phenomenal player. He just has to stay healthy. But you lose that matchup by 7 points. But you go against Pete Carroll. Max Crosby's on that roster. Geno Smith, veteran quarterback. Right now, he's struggling to take care of the football. But you went against a veteran team. You're still a young team on the offensive end still. So I'll give him some grace for that loss. You were still in that matchup. But in week 2 against the Miami Dolphins, you win this game 33-27. Drake Maye looked like a superstar. 19-23, 230 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He did get sacked 3 times, but he had a rushing touchdown. He had 31 rushing yards. And this is the thing here with Drake Maye. Like I mentioned before, he used to take off and run his rookie season. He'll still go out there and he'll still run on you. He still has that athleticism. When we talk about quarterbacks that can go outside and move the pocket, they can go out there and make throws on the run, Drake Maye can do that. And he is still young in his career. This is only year 2. I put him in that Caleb Williams category in terms of players. They have to learn to play in structure, because at the college level, at the high school level, so many times they go outside the pocket, they're making throws. In this league, you sit inside the pocket, you go through your reads underneath, take what the defense gives you. And Drake Maye has done that. But be careful. If no one can get open, he'll take that ball down and he'll run with it. But this was a very good win, and your special teams went crazy in this matchup. You get that punt return against the Miami Dolphins. You had a beautiful punt return against the Carolina Panthers. Marcus Jones is solidifying himself as a very good special teams player. He may be elite towards the end of this season, and he's a very good defensive player. Against the Steelers, this was a frustrating loss. You lost this matchup 21-14. You lost by 7 points, but you had 5 turnovers in this matchup. 5. And once again, Drake Maye in this offense, they were able to move the field with their weapons. This is not one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. They look a bit slow at times, but they're methodical, and they can move the ball down the field. That is what you ask for in a young signal caller. The only thing Drake Maye has to do is just take care of the football. That's it. And I understand there's no such thing as a moral victory in the NFL. And I hate to be the coulda, shoulda, woulda guy. I like the Steelers. I like their roster. But you look at the Patriots. They should have won that game, and you were at home. And you still had a chance late in the matchup to win that game. The receiver was just a couple inches away from converting on 4th down. He converts that fourth down. Now we're having a different conversation here. But it's the little things here. Once again, a young roster, you learn from that. And I know a lot of Patriot fans, they don't want to hear that, because the last few years have been hell on the offensive end with Bill Belichick. They want to go out there and they want to win those football games, but this team could easily be 4-0. It's just a couple of mistakes, and you learn from that. So how do you bounce back the next week? You go against the Carolina Panthers. I'll say this right now. The Panthers aren't one of the best teams in the NFL, and they are beat up, yes. But the Patriots have had injuries. With Coach Mayo, this would have been a close football game last year. And now I'm not trying to come on here and dog on Coach Mayo the entire time. But they didn't go out there and they did not blow out bad teams last year consistently. They went against the Carolina Panthers, the opening drive. They give up that touchdown. And you just see a lot of Patriot fans are shaking their heads in the crowd. They're like, oh, man, here we go again. It's the same old, same old. But as the game went on, you felt the energy. And you felt things went different. Drake Maye hits the Cam Newton celebration. Drake Maye against this defense of the Carolina Panthers. 14-17, 203 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. He had a rushing touchdown. Noticing a pattern here. You have 2 passing touchdowns and a rushing touchdown. And they didn't need him to go out there and have over 300 passing yards and 4 passing touchdowns. Sometimes you go out there and you win the game. And I'm not trying to compare Drake Maye to Tom Brady. There's only one Tom Brady. But Tom Brady was amazing at doing that. When the defense was having a hell of a day, the special teams, they're putting in work. Tom Brady went out there full game manager mode. I'm not going to turn this ball over. I'm going to move the chains. We're going to eat up this clock. A death by 1,000 paper cuts. Take it underneath. Take it underneath. When you come up, we'll cue you over the top. And you can see Josh McDaniels is doing that with Drake Maye. We'll cue you underneath. We'll take those mismatches. But as soon as you come up If we can get Kayshawn on the outside to get on top of a cornerback, you take that shot. Stephon Diggs going into this Carolina Panthers game wasn't looking so hot. Had his first 100-yard game in a Patriots uniform against the Panthers. He needs to be more consistent. They brought him in to be the veteran in that receiving room. Now, understand that he is coming off that torn ACL injury. And speaking of Stephon Diggs, that contract that he has, they can move off of it after 1 year. But my assumption is this with Stephon Diggs. He will get better as the season goes on. Can the playmakers be better around Drake Maye? Sure. But you're making do with what you have right now. And this is a Patriots organization. They tried to go out there. They tried to sign Chris Godwin, but he wanted to stay with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They even offered to overpay him, coming off a broken ankle, but he wanted to stay in Tampa. So sometimes things are out of your control. They tried to go out there. They tried to bring in a proven number one that still has a lot of juice left in the tank, and Chris Godwin. It didn't work out. So you go out there, you pivot, you bring in Stephon Diggs, and you develop the pieces that you have. And unfortunately, Jalen Polk didn't work out. He's now with the New Orleans Saints. Just had a bad year with the New England Patriots. Couldn't find his way on the field. But you still have some talent in this room. Mac Hollins is a solid veteran. He's not going to go out there and give you over 1,000 yards in the season. But the thing is this with Mac Hollins, he's a big body. He can go out there and win those short yardage situations, especially in the red zone, just a big red zone target. And he's a big body in terms of just going out there and being a blocker, in terms of helping out your run blocking. So Drake Maye will be fine. The offensive line, they're still having some bad moments, but it's a work in progress right now. Now the running back room, the future of this room will run through Travion Henderson. It's the reason why you selected him high in the NFL draft. He's a very good player. He's an explosive playmaker. A lot of Patriots insiders, they're comparing him to be the next James White. And James White was a very good football player for many years with the Patriots. The problem that I have here with the running back room, Ramondre Stevenson is a talented running back. The problem with Ramondre, even dating back to last year, is ball security. He fumbles the football a lot, and he's too good to pull off the field. Because he can break those tackles, he can go out there, he can give you a big run here and there. Consistently, when he's not fumbling the football, he's a very good running back. That's why they gave him a contract extension a couple of years ago. This is not a problem early on in his career, not up to this degree. But last year was the worst year of his career in terms of ball security. And then you go out there and you have the turnovers that you had against the Steelers. He needs to be better. Now, I trust that he will be. And I respect Mike Vrabel. He came out and he said, I have my running backs back. This was not the case last year with Coach Mayo. Mayo would come out and he said, you know what, we may discipline Ramondre Stevenson. We just can't have plays like that. We'll go with Antonio Gibson. He'll give Antonio Gibson 2 carries to start the game. Then when you look at the rest of the game, Ramondre Stevenson has 15 carries. That's all on Ramondre Stevenson. He has to work on that ball security. But he's a solid running back when he's not going out there and he's not having those dumb fumbles. Travion Henderson, I want to see more of him. He's very explosive. He may be the most explosive running back in that backfield. And you have Antonio Gibson, who's a solid veteran. So the offense, they still have a ways to go, but I have a lot of trust in Josh McDaniels, and I think the world of Drake Maye long term. He has that potential of being a franchise quarterback in this league, and the upside is there with the athleticism. He just has to rein in on some of those mistakes, those turnovers, and those interceptions, and he's starting to do that every single week right now. In every single game, he's progressed. Against the Raiders, it was a tough outing for him. But as the drives went on, he got better in that game. Against the Miami Dolphins, he looked elite in that matchup. It is the Dolphins defense, one of the worst defenses in the NFL, but against the Steelers, he was able to move the ball. Got better in that matchup. Carolina Panthers, another team that you could say they're one of the weaker teams in the NFL, but they just shut out the Atlanta Falcons the week before, and that's a very talented offense. And I understand in division, games are a little bit different, so the Panthers may just have their number that weekend. But we have to give the Patriots some credit here. You can't help who you play. But next week is going to be the biggest test for Drake Maye and this offense and this defense because you go against the Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen. And on paper, they match up very well if the defense can be fully healthy. Now, speaking of the defense here, Terrell Williams, the defensive coordinator, he's dealing with prostate cancer right now. My prayers go out to him and his family. I really hope that everything will be okay. That's way bigger than football, so he had to take some time away. The defense has been very disappointing so far, in my opinion. Maybe it's because of him being absent. But at the same time, I'm not going to put all that on just the coaching. The coaching has had some good moments. The problem that I have with the Patriots, they haven't been fully healthy on the defensive end. Getting Christian Gonzalez back against the Carolina Panthers, that was a huge getting him back on the field. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, in man-to-man situations, he's one of the best cornerbacks. I have him being the best cornerback in football. He's been a phenomenal player. You brought in Carlton Davis. I think him as a number 2. I think that's very good on the back end of this defense. You have Jalen Hawkins, Kyle Ducker at the safety position, Craig Woodson. Marcus Jones has just been explosive all year long. Defensively, the same on special teams. Had a very good game against the Carolina Panthers in terms of getting that kick return and that punt return, and also going out there and being a very good defender by having that pass deflection. Clavon Chasen has been able to go back there and bring the quarterback down. He's not the best pass rusher with this roster just yet, but the upside is there with him long term. He's still a young player. He's 26 years old. I'm not saying that he's going to go out there and be the next TJ Watt, be the next Max Crosby, but there's definitely something there with him, at least with being a rotational pass rusher. Christian Barmore missed majority of last season, dealing with blood clots. He comes back over to this season, still a very good player. Elite run stopper, can get to the quarterback on a consistent basis. You have Keon White, and you have Harold Landry. Harold Landry is also another low-key signing this offseason, because the best years of his career came with Mike Vrabel when Mike Vrabel was his head coach. He's been able to get to the quarterback on a consistent basis, just winning over and over again. And you have a lot of Titan fans that'll come out and they'll say, well, he's just a clean-up sack monster. That's not the case. He can get through tackles. He can go out there and he can finish the play. And you have Milton Williams, who was also another good defensive lineman that you picked up in free agency. The Patriots spent a lot of money this offseason. And the reason why you bring in Milton Williams, you want someone that can go out there, help stop the run, get to the passer on a consistent basis. Had a very good last year with the Philadelphia Eagles. So I expect for the rushing defense to be better as the season goes on, and for the passing defense if they can be fully healthy. And Robert Spillane, very good tackling linebacker. He's had some good moments in the past with the Steelers early on in his career and with the Las Vegas Raiders last year. You have Christian Ellis with this defense. There's a lot of good names here. And I'm not saying that the Patriots are going to go out there and make the NFL playoffs. They're going to be this team that's a sleeper to watch out for the Super Bowl. I think that's crazy to say right now. But you just want to see improvement this year compared to last year. And you've already seen that. We still have a long ways to go in this season. It's 13 weeks left in the regular season. But if you can go out there and you can defeat the Buffalo Bills this Sunday night, that would be a huge statement win for the Patriots. And if you can go out there and make that game tough on Josh Allen and the Bills, because they're the only undefeated team in the AFC right now, there'll be a huge chip inside your pocket. I have the Patriots right now being the second best team in this division. I have them over the New York Jets and over the Miami Dolphins. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you feel about Drake Maye and the New England Patriots long term? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, I want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless. Peace.